Hello and welcome to Bubbles and Breakdowns, a space designed for you to show up as your beautifully imperfect self, where we dive into the good, the bad, and the bubbly. I'm Katrina.
And I'm Ashley. And in the spirit of the season of love, we are kicking off February with how to understand your love language and what you need to give and receive what your heart and soul needs. So this concept of love languages come from the relationship counselor, Dr. Chapman. It describes the different ways people express love and feel loved. Understanding your love languages and those people close to you can significantly improve communication, intimacy, and emotional satisfaction in relationships. So today we're sharing some important details about these 5 love languages and how they show up and how to communicate what you need in order to feel loved and cared for.
Sign me up.
Whoop!
Let's do this.
Whoop, whoop.
I want all the love,
All the
Ashley.
love. I feel like, again, mentioned this many times before, as I'm now 40, I really am starting to know who I am. Like, I know what makes me tick. I know what makes me happy.
I was going to say makes you tick and get you ticked off.
Exactly, right? Like, here we go.
Yeah.
But I think there's just something really knowledgeable about knowing what you need to feel loved
Yeah.
and how you reciprocate giving your love to others in a way that will, exactly what this said here, improve your communication with people and just really get your satisfaction out of relationships, of being additive to your life.
Right. Yes. I think not knowing what you need is a big problem in relationships, because then you can never communicate what you need, and then it's kind of like you're living 2 lives separately from one another. I mean, if I'm showing up with flowers every day and you're like, no, I just need an act of service, as we're going to talk about, you're not going to meet people's needs. So I think for those who don't know these 5 love languages, do you want to take us through
I'd love
high level what they are and what they mean?
So there are 5 love languages. And just because it's not like you don't have all of these in your life, you probably do. They're just weighted differently, right? So we'll kind of start off there. But the 5 are, number 1, words of affirmation. So you feel loved through verbal expressions. So this could be, people saying, I love you, I appreciate you, I'm proud of you.
You're pretty.
You're pretty. Aw. Number 2, quality time. So feeling love through undivided attention, meaningful conversation, shared activities without distractions, really just being fully present and spending that quality time with people. Number 3, receiving gifts. Why don't you, right? So feeling love through thoughtful tokens. So it's not just, here's this so-and-so,
Right.
but I thought, you mentioned something a year ago and I finally saved up enough money to purchase it for you because I knew it was thoughtful, right?
Like, I knew you like the sriracha ramen and it's hard to find, but here's a big old pack of it.
Exactly. Enjoy. So a meaningful or symbolic gift. Number 4, acts of service. So feeling loved when others do helpful things, helping with chores, running errands. I love an act of service.
Oh, yeah.
It's like my jam. Number 5, physical touch. So feeling love through appropriate physical connection, hugs, holding hands, cuddling, sitting close. So those are those 5 love languages. And we mentioned briefly in the beginning why these are helpful to know your love languages. And I'd really like us to kind of dissect this a little bit.
Yeah, like what's helpful about it, right?
Exactly. And I've seen this. So Katrina and I both took this little quiz to rank your love languages, and nothing new I didn't know. I took this quiz, I think, a couple years ago, but it is on, if you just Google love languages, it is on the doctor's site, and you can go ahead and subscribe you just put your email in and take this.
Yeah, that's all it was.
And
Name and email.
Yeah, I just want to know if have I changed? I haven't. In the last 10 years since I've taken this, and again, I think it's always so helpful to know so that I can provide my friends or my husband in a non-annoying way, different ways to understand me better, right? Because I think as we grow and we're learning more about ourselves, it's only that much more important that you aid, I guess, those important people in your life to help you feel and get what you need out of those relationships.
Yeah, I think it can definitely strengthen relationships, and it gives you, a way to communicate your needs in like a broader sense of saying, I love when you take the garbage out, but I would also just appreciate a hug if you're a physical touch person. Or like, hey, I love that we had that night together of quality time, but what I really need is for you to go scrub the toilets.
Totally. Exactly.
And it's because if you can understand these things about your partner, so I would encourage all of us to do this with our partners and then share back and discuss them a little bit, right? Because then you can high level dive in together. You can see where you align. You can see where you don't align. For example, I know that physical touch is high on Matt's, but it's my last one. It's my rank number 5.
Right.
And so when you're like, oh, so I have to give him more hugs. In fact, even he'll come to me and he'll go, we got to kick off our 8 hugs a day. He was like, you need 8 hugs a day to make sure that your connection to your partner, like he's so, sweet and methodical about things. And like, he'll literally make a joke out of it. Like 1 of 8 down,
Here we go. Yeah, check mark on the tally. Yeah. Well, and I think, we're all so busy and sometimes relationships take the back seat, right? Because we are cooking, cleaning, working, activities, working out, like whatever we need to do.
Doing what you can.
Exactly, to survive those crazy periods. So again, why it's helpful to resonate and know what works for you. Number 1, it improves communication.
Big time.
So it will reduce misunderstandings as well. So if you are dialed in with your partner or your friends and say like, this is kind of what I need and this is how I work, hopefully they'll give that to you.
Well, and thinking about that, so when you think about improving communication, let's take an example. So acts of service is number 3 on mine. So it's not my number 1 or 2. So I would argue it's way less important to me. So maybe Matt had in the past would have thought like, well, I did all the dishes, I did the laundry. And while I very much appreciate that, I don't feel love from that. Okay. So there's a very big distinction to me, Ashley, on like your love language, how you feel love versus appreciating things. Like
totally.
It's that's to me the distinction. And so if you're able to then communicate like, thank you for doing all of those acts of service, but what I really need from you is some quality time. Can we schedule a date night? Can we have a date on the couch after bedtimes or whatever that looks like? I think separating those two in our minds is important.
Absolutely. I think so too. Yeah. And Katrina and I ranked pretty similarly, except for our last 2. But again, we both ranked number 1, quality time, number 2, words of affirmation. So I'm totally with you. Like if I hear thanks for doing all the dishes this week, I'm going to do them again tonight because I'm finally like, oh, this is not going unnoticed.
Yeah.
Right. And sometimes I just need that like, good job. Good. Keep going with the punches to just be like, what I'm doing is appreciated.
Yeah.
And that goes a long way with me.
Same. Like Matt's been really intentional about having the kids thank me for dinner. And he's been like training them over the course of many, many months now that when I put their food down most nights, not every night, they say, Mommy, thank you for making us a delicious dinner. And when I hear that, even though I know it's a little bit of like Pavlov dog training, I still get that little bit of like, you're so welcome, sweetie. And feeling appreciated and seen for what I contribute, similar to you, is a way for me to harness around motivation, to your point, but also to just feel connected to my family members because I'm like, they see me, and not only do they see me, but they appreciate it.
Yes, and that's one of the other things here of why it's helpful. It will strengthen your relationships, right? So it is this way of just having people be more appreciative for you and
100%.
Acknowledging some of these things going on, which I love, 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 love. It also will build emotional self-awareness. I think if you're even taking this quiz, you're there, right? But
there.
To really learn who you are and what makes, like I said, what makes you tick, what makes you tick off, whatever, is really important in growing in yourself and personally growing your emotions.
Yeah, I think it's really wise too because we may feel love from all of these things at different times and different ways that they show up, but saying kind of like, what's our default? What's our number 1 or 2? So that we know if we're not getting it from our partner or those that we rely on to feel love, then we need to find a way to have awareness around it. Right. And if we aren't aware, then we can never change. So critical.
So critical. And I think the last one too, to really round us off, is it encourages intentional love. So I think this one to me is very important because it includes the other person being self-aware and aware of what you need and trying to provide that for you, right? Yeah. So I think as much as maybe sometimes it starts programmed, but then it becomes part of what you need. And it also probably makes your kids feel good. I'm just thinking of the meal example.
100%.
You know what I mean?
And it sets the tone for a nice dinner.
Right, yeah. Right. Where everyone's like happy and like, this is like really great. And I think being so aware is so great.
So what I just want to take a moment on intentional love.
Yes.
Because as you were saying that, I want to share something that I've learned about love in my tender age of 41 is
almost 42.
Almost. This month, as this is launching, it's this month. I'm a love month, baby. I believe firmly in my soul, and many people may have heard this or even believe it themselves, that love is not a feeling, it is a verb. And what I mean by that is there's been moments where Matt has maybe said, like, I love you. And I'll go, you're not loving me. I need you to do things to show me you love me. Mm. So I believe that love is a choice and love is an action. And it's not just a feeling, because being loving to someone, you know what that looks like and feels like, right? And if you're not actively loving someone, which, by the way, in my book, because Matt and I are so different in so many things, means doing things that I wouldn't do otherwise if I didn't know it would mean something to him. And so when you think about intentional love, it is giving of ourselves in a way that isn't automatic to the point of that. And that's the act of love. It's not a feeling. It's not something that just is lust or you're so pretty and I love being around you and light and fluffy. It is giving to someone of yourself in a way that makes them feel loved.
I love that.
Yeah. I mean, if we all looked at that differently in our relationships and we started focusing more on what do we need to pour in, and this is a challenge of mine. I am arguably sometimes very, very self-centered and very selfish of like, I need, because I'm sometimes really running on empty and I'm coming by it honestly. And I swear I have a good heart and a giving heart. But if we flipped our whole lives about trying to love on others, in the way that they need love, knowing love languages or what's important to them, you don't even have to take the quiz. You could figure out what makes people tick, if you're perceptive enough, how much different we would feel about ourselves. If we walked around giving to others in a way that they needed, I know we'd get it reciprocated, unless you got a big taker and then you need to kind of like cut that off. We've talked about that before. But I think that that's an important kind of shift in my mind to say it's not enough to just say you love somebody. You have to show them.
I seriously love that, for lack of a better word. Love that.
Adore.
Yeah. Hold that close to my heart. No, because there is something there.
Yeah. I think we in society take love sometimes, especially if you've been with a person a very, very long time. So I'm going on my 19th year of being with my husband. Not married, but being with him. And that's wild because that means I'm approaching 20 years, which can't be true. But it is.
Because you're only 18.
Right, exactly.
The math ain't mathin'.
Now, I'm always going to deeply care for him. I'm going to have a feeling of care for him no matter what, okay? I'm going to care deeply for him. But when we talk about, am I loving him? And I had this thought last night. I was at this, woo-woo sound bath meditation, and I was kind of calling in, like, what do I need to know? And da-da-da. And if it's not for you, it's not for you. But, and Matt's face came across in my head as I was sitting there with my eyes closed, with listening to this amazing, amazing music and noises, if you will. And in my head, the phrase that came out was like, I want to love you. And it's not that I don't feel love for him and have an emotion of really caring for him. What I was trying to say is I want to love you in the way that you need me to love you. I want to make the decisions to show up for you. I want to make the decisions that are going to make you feel my love. So I think that's also the power in it, is that we own what it feels like to be in relationships with us.
Totally. And I think like you mentioned, like when we are in it in the daily life, sometimes it's hard to think of those things,
so
right? Because you're
exhausted.
just like, oh my God, I know you're a words of affirmation person, but I hate you today. Like, whatever. We're not saying that.
I've got nothing good to say about you right now.
But I think the overall arching theme of this is so important, is also speak up for what you need.
Yeah.
I think there's a lack of that. And the reason I was pointing people to this quiz is like, if you don't know what you need, this is a great starting point, because then you can start to digest and say, oh, I do just need some quality time, or I do just need to hear a thank you for doing this every night.
Yeah.
And that can go such a long way. And guess what? If you hear it from someone, 100% chance you're going to be reciprocal to them.
Right.
And you're going to start this beautiful chain that talks about everything you mentioned that will strengthen your relationship, that will encourage this intentional love for you to really listen and see signs of their struggle or their success that you can play up and make sure you're bonding stronger.
And when you were talking, what I was thinking of is we as human beings tend to give what we like to receive, right? So you and I, we like quality time and words of affirmation. I would say we do both for each other when as friends, right? Because it's actually our default of what we like as well. So when you don't have clarity on what people need and what makes them tick or ticked off, this quiz can help guide. Because if not, we really settle back into our system of what makes us feel loved. And then we tend to give it. And what that can create, right, is a dissonance with the receiver. Because they're like, why does she keep telling me I'm so cute? Like, I don't care about that. Or like, why does she keep telling me I'm awesome? Like, okay, get over it. But no one ever speaks up about this stuff. They'll just be like, oh, that was nice. Okay, whatever. But it's not giving them the same emotion as it might give ourselves. Right. So in the absence of knowing, we tend to project what we like. And I think that's why this quiz can be really helpful of like bringing clarity forward.
Right.
And then comparing and contrasting and have a little fun exercise, especially in the month of February, because why not? It's the month of love.
I know. And I think too, just having a conversation with your partner around what you need is so important. So here's another example that transcends love languages. So sometimes, and I don't know if I saw this on a meme, and I was like, I'm going to try that. This is really kind of groundbreaking. So, sometimes you just got to vent or you got to tell a story. And sometimes maybe that's all you want to leave it on the table. You don't want advice. You don't want a plan from someone else. You don't want anything to do with logic whatsoever.
Nope.
You just need to talk and for someone to say like, yeah, I'm on your side, right?
They're horrible and you're amazing.
No. So I was reading this thing around before you start a conversation like that. Again, in order to make sure no one gets hurt, that you're feeling what you need to feel.
Yeah.
Start that conversation and tell your partner, is this a conversation for comfort where they're going to just side with you and be like, no, I need you to say this to me right now? Or is this a conversation where you really want to hear the feedback, devise a plan or wherever that goes? I've tried this and I've loved it. Sometimes it's failed because sometimes
they can't keep their opinions back, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
but I think just kind of coming to the table of just like, I've always been a big venter to my girlfriends where I would call and just be like, oh my God, blah, blah. And then they're just like, I got you. And you're just like, oh, okay, I'm going to leave that there. But that's not always available. And, your partner should be your person too. So I think that's so important. Again, learning, having this self-awareness of your emotions, of what you need. Yeah. And it's not like a way of like, lie to me and tell me I'm pretty.
No.
Well, maybe do that. But it's more just like, I want you to help me and I want you to understand me too. I think there's self-awareness, I think, is such a beautiful thing. That you are aware of what you need, but also you're being expressive of what you need to grow with this person and deepen your relationship.
And I think the whole idea of comfort or conversation, as you were sharing, as we were preparing for this, is such a like set the tone. And then it really can mitigate disagreements that come from it. Because if I don't come to you
Totally.
and say, if I don't come and say, I'm looking for comfort, and then all of a sudden you start having a conversation, now my irritability, being the person I am, has skyrocketed. And now I'm not only mad at the situation, I'm mad at you, and you're trying to solution, and I'm not asking you for solutions.
I am throwing elbows over here. I am just like so into this because I've been in those situations too where I'm just like, didn't you understand that? Like, I just didn't want to hear that. But like, I didn't preface the conversation with that.
Right. But they can also ask as we're listening and being partners to each other of like, are you wanting me to give you ideas or you want me to just listen? You know, and just those simple, hey, this is a comfort or a conversation, or if you want, you know, solutions, those little pauses of saying, okay, there's a heightened emotional situation. Like, how can I support my partner and what do they need from me in that moment? Yeah.
It's huge.
I love it. So that's a great recommendation to people as they're probably dealing with some of the same similar things. I would have to think like many couples deal with moments of dissonance with disagreements and or not getting what they need out of a conversation. So I love that. It's a real practical way to handle it.
Thanks.
Yeah.
And thanks the meme that I saw that was talking about
You know,
it.
memes are so educational. They really have taken off.
Okay, you know what? Now that I'm thinking, I'm like, I keep saying meme because I think I'm a millennial where like that was the first type of content that made you think of things differently. I think it was a reel.
Okay. Yeah.
But is a reel a meme and a meme a reel?
I think there's memes and reels. Ooh.
Oh.
Watch out.
Our next topic.
I feel like when we talk about this stuff, I could not feel any more squarely in my 40s and like starting to show my technological social disadvantages.
Wait,
but anyway.
I just gave us so much like props about millennials and bibliotecas and whatever libraries and card catalogs, and now we're like, we can't keep up with the times.
I know. Well, I think this has been a really great way to orient ourselves for the month of February, and as we're looking at special ways to make people feel loved. So I hope it's been meaningful for everybody else too.
Completely agree. And take the quiz.
Yes.
Be intentional about your love. Mm-hmm. It's an action. Mm-hmm. And I think it'll round out and everyone will gain and everyone will win.
And remember,
after every breakdown,
don't forget the bubbles.
Thanks. And
Thank you guys.
Oh, sorry. Ooh.
We're so excited.
We're
feeling the love.
Talking about love. And if you love us, don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, follow us, DM us.
All of it.
All of it.
We want to hear from you.
And tell a friend. Spread the love.
That's right.
Because we love you.
All right, everybody. Cheers.
Bye.